So we'll have to see what we end up with in terms of carry. We saw a late anti-mage ban in the previous draft. Is there any chance in your mind that we see an earlier anti-mage pick from Sparking Arrow maybe coming in this next phase?
I think they were just a little concerned that the heroes that they had were ones that could be abused by an anti-mage. You know, when you think about the types of lockdown that they had some, but it was things like the Wraith Fire Blast and the Fortune's End that take a little bit of time to reach the anti-mage, and so you're very easily able to counterspell.
Now Sparking Arrow are going to go for the Phoenix. So nice combination with the Pango. You can get, if you get lucky, and you've got the Supernova going, and everyone's trying to hit it, and then all of a sudden Pangolier just throws out the Swashbuckle and gets a bunch of disarms. That can very easily win a team fight. And beyond that, the Rolling Thunder is always going to be a pretty reliable way to defend the egg. Lockdown situation, not looking amazing necessarily, so maybe some kind of an opportunity for EHOME to go for your Storm Spirit, your Void Spirit, something like that in this situation, but certainly not a bad pick for Sparking Arrow.
I'm just trying to think which one. I think Void Spirit might be a decent pick for them. It's a bit more of that tempo style. You don't necessarily need the same level of items that a Storm Spirit does to have that kind of level of impact. Very effective to have the Yule Scepter for setting up these team fights, and you've still got the escape potential.
Yeah, EHOME really thinking about it. They do have the last pick overall, so I would guess just going for their offlaner now, unless the Wind Ranger is going to be a 3, which I don't really want to see. Mars is still in the pool, but has thus far gone ignored by both teams. What else? Anything else spring to mind for you?
Radiant team pick.
Ooh, something a little bit different.
Bit difficult to pick the Omni-Knight in a situation like this where you don't know what the enemy carry is going to be, so it could end up getting abused a little bit, and Sparking Arrow actually just going to go straight in for an Alk here.
Yeah, I mean, they know they're not going to be abused by an Ancient Apparition, and right now you've got Lifesteal from the Wraith King and the Omni-Knight obviously doing healing himself, so it's a good thing for the Ice Blast, and it opens up the Alchemist pick for themselves.
Yeah. Alchemist safe lane, Alchemist mid, keep it open until, I guess they're not going to get to see any more picks.
Yeah.
So
maybe using the band to inform how they're going to go about it, yeah.
Interesting,
So
so EHOME actually banned the Storm Spirit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have liked to see Alk and Storm on the same team. It feels kind of greedy, but I guess EHOME's still worried about it. Maybe for the same reasons that they, like we were talking about, that they banned the Anti-Mage in the previous game. Just don't feel confident in the amount of lockdown that they have for this kind of, for that kind of hero.
I mean, the Death Prophet is still very much a hero in this game that can go for EHOME, right?
Yeah, I could definitely see the Death Prophet. Again, always nice to have with any kind of sustain or heal or save. I don't know what else you would go for. I'm trying to think of like go-to mid laners against the Alk.
Monkey.
Yeah, there's what do we got? We got Monkey. Timber is still in the pool. Invoker was pretty popular for a while there as a way of like pumping out burst damage into Alk. But you talked about Death Prophet, and it's actually Sparking Arrow taking it for themselves.
I like this. You know, maybe baiting it out a little bit, saying, oh, have we forgotten about it? Well, no, we just lost horribly. So we need to make sure that it's in the front of our mind, and it does answer a lot of our questions about where their heroes are probably going to be.
And you can see Sparking Arrow, their preferences coming through a little bit in their bans as well. Getting rid of the Lina, because I think it would have actually been a pretty good mid Lina game for EHOME if it had been left through. It's got a good matchup against the Death Prophet, good burst against the Alk, the attack range plus attack speed against the Phoenix. So certainly could have been a good pick, but EHOME gonna have to come up with something else in this situation.
I think Void Spirit's still perfectly fine.
Is that a good matchup against Death Prophet? That seems like it might be a bit rough.
It's okay. You can use a Beastmaster.
What the heck is
Mid
that?
Wind Ranger?
Yeah, I guess
I mean, I was about no. It's a mid Omni Knight.
mid Omni Knight. What is EHOME up to here?
Something a little crazy. I like it.
Okay, so
And it's a mid Alchemist as well, or unless they're changing up the lanes.
yeah. Oh, this is very interesting. But surely you want to send the Death Prophet against the Omni Knight more than the Alchemist, right? But maybe they're somehow worried about the pressure that this Beastmaster Windranger lane could put on the Alchemists.
Yeah, I
Instead?
think that's the big
Yeah.
worry for them. You're able to deal with the boars a lot easier as well with the
Yeah,
the
that's
Death Prophet
true.
Newcomb Death. They give a surprising amount of experience, so they really do need to be a high priority for you in the lane.
Yeah, this is a pretty big adjustment from both teams. So Beastmaster's had a few changes recently. His axes are magical now.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Let's see here. Change logs. So he's got more base attack speed. The debuff duration is longer. Back when they took away all the experience talents, they gave him 30 attack damage instead of 20% experience gain. He really hasn't had that many huge changes. So I guess is it mostly just about like pushing and Roshan taking and vision
I'd say
and
so.
pressure, the same stuff
Yeah.
that Beastmaster's always kind of been about.
Yeah, and it was something that their draft was lacking a little bit. Yeah, you can get it through the Wraith King, but that's why I was thinking Death Prophet would have been a great way for EHOME to round out their draft, is that they still had this little bit of a hole in the draft with how they were actually going to get aggressive. So
Okay,
we'll see
so
how
what
the
is
laning
going on
stage
here?
goes.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Looks like Innocence is going to be running down bottom to start things off. Beastmaster starting things off on an aggressive note. Faith Beyond picking up the Orb of Venom, and does seem like Sparking Arrow just going to be heading over towards the top side here. How does the point system work? Is this game like is it points per game, or is it just for the whole series? A winner of the best of 3 gets 1 point. Okay, so it's all or nothing, basically. Yeah. The results of it doesn't help you at all going 2-1 compared to going.
I mean, you get some money, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's true. There is money on the line. Oh. All right, outpost swap quickly. Sylar kind of in the middle of no man's land here. If he gets body blocked by OP, it might not even matter about body blocks. We're just gonna slow him down, swashbuckle through one more auto attack, and that is gonna be the Death Prophet drawing first blood. That's not a good look.
Good hero to be giving it to, and it looks like, I mean, the fact that they're able to get 2 bounty runes with an alchemist in their lineup is very, very handy. You know, any time that you can even trade evenly, because EHOME should be looking for, punishing that. What can an alchemist do at level 1? Not too much.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this mid lane matchup goes. Nothing to say getting a slightly better block, but it does block all the way into the tower initially. He does a good job to quickly drag it out, though, and keep it on the hill. So nicely done there. And Sylar about to show in this lane. I wonder if we'll be seeing any musical lanes or anything, or if we will just kind of lock into what we currently have. Panda taking quite a lot of damage already down here. Faith Beyond also willing to just put some more pressure on the Death Prophet. I can't imagine playing against the Omni Knight is going to be very fun for the Alp, but I suppose he only needs to get like level 5, and then he can just kind of head into the jungle and come and spam out the lane when needed.
Yeah, even just like level 3 or 4, it's doable. It's not enjoyable, but it's doable.
Yeah. And it kind of goes both ways, right? It's Omni Knight against a melee hero, but also Alchemist is going to have the acid spray and whatnot, so lots of trading that could happen here.
And you'd have to feel like Nothing to Say has to get kills in this lane. There needs to be rotations that come through, because Alchemist is going to be able to outfarm you, 15 minutes into the game if you just leave each other to your own devices. Felix.
Damage on the Phoenix. but still surviving. Has a Fairy Fire as well. Sylar wanting to finish this one off, but Swashbuckle through, getting good damage onto both of them. Faith Beyond will lose his courier, meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map. But for Wraith King this game, if the plan is to play aggressive and just run at Sparking Arrow, is it maybe not the Radiance build then? Pango in some danger. OP, Swashbuckle soon. Doesn't really jump very far, but looks like it's going to be enough. He does actually get the disarm, and now Felix jumping forward to try and finish off Innocence. Is it going to be enough damage, though? Looks like he will get it. Sylar's chasing him now. He's got the stun available, but still 2 more spirits and the disarm to contend with. So no way that Sylar can try for this, and he might actually even be dead.
Yeah, doesn't have a stick, so no Fairy Fire. Just got a Tango building up for him. I think he's resigned himself to it, purchasing everything he can in the stash, but no.
Okay.
Sparking Arrow. They're content to just farm up the...
Yeah, not going to try for it. Just want the CS instead. I think they could have... he was healing a bit with the Tango. Would have been tricky. Probably the right call. So mid lane, 18-5 against the 12-0 of the Alchemist. Nothing to say, really putting on a lot of pressure with his Omni Knight.
Yeah, I mean, it shows in the experience lead, sorry, that he's got about half a level or so, but DD, he still has the gold lead, despite that obviously being an Alchemist, so you're going to have to continue to keep the pressure up, and I'm sure he's going to be asking for rotations sometime shortly for the rest of his...
What's been happening at bottom? So Faith Beyond has good farm. The Death Prophet actually struggling a little bit to get CS so far. Sylar in danger at top, though. They are going to try and protect him with the Frost Shield. But
Red Panda as well.
yeah, dead at bottom. Hardly anything that... Well, that's the problem with this safe lane, right? Neither hero can really do anything for the other one. Like, if AA gets gone on, Death Prophet just has to watch, and sort of the same story the other way around.
And you see a bit of a different philosophy as well with the style of build that they're going with this Wind Ranger as opposed to the Game 1 style. Going the Shackle Shot early on, going the Wind Run as opposed to maxing out that power.
I mean, so long as they get the initial control, once the Orb of Venom and the Boar are in position, then there's really no getting away if you're either of these heroes for Sparking Arrow. DD's gonna come over here and grab himself an Illusion. Not the most useful rune in the world for him, but at least denies it from the Omni Knight. And the top lane still very heavy fighting back and forth. Sylar super struggling to get any CS whatsoever. Now they're going to go on to the Lich. Innocence taking a lot of damage. Felix staying on top of him. Only has 1 Fire Spirit left. Not sure if this is going to be enough damage as
Stun's
Innocence
ready.
does sidestep. And now they look for the turnaround. Sylar finds himself a nice kill. Definitely needs that gold. And over at mid, there's a rotation coming in as they will get the Alchemist. However, they lose Nothing to Say at the same time. But worth it to bring down the Alch like that.
Yeah, it's just the delay game right now, and it rockets Omni Knight up into that position 1 in terms of the net worth. Anytime you're delaying Alchemist, you're always having a good time.
Faith Beyond just trying to outclick the Death Prophet here. Looks like he is going to be losing his life. We're going to try and block him out, but that's not going to be enough. And over on the other side, Sylar and Innocence both pretty low. Swashbuckle through from OP, finishes off 1, looks towards the next. Sylar does manage to throw out the stun, but I think Felix can chase this kill down, and that's EHOME losing 3 across the map. Not what they were hoping for with those bounty runes. And how many did they actually get? They did manage to snag 3, but at the cost of a few lives. So at least it slows down the Alch a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, but it's a very different prospect this game with the Phoenix getting actually some sort of farm in the early game as opposed to the shaky game where he was stuck on, boots and a magic stick for the first 20 or so minutes.
Yeah, the discrepancy between Jin-Q and... Oh, he wants this courier so bad. Can he finish it? Yes, he can. Not enough attack speed reduction. The discrepancy between Jin-Q and Felix was crazy last game. So this game definitely looking much more even. Oh, Red Panda.
Poor Red Panda.
Yeah, he just needs to TP. He's fine. He's fine. And Nothing to Say thinks about coming back, seeing if he cancels or something. DD just farming up in the jungle. Gonna pick up some treads early on here. People have really stopped being so greedy on Alk early on, it feels like. We always see the Bracer, we always see kind of these value treads. You really just want that extra survivability early on. Because dying hurts so much on Alchemist.
Yeah. I mean, even with 2 people in the lane, though, there's only so much you can do against an Omni Knight at this stage of the game as a melee core. You know, if he tries to run into him, you're just going to get healed. You've obviously got the degen aura that's going to stop you from running away.
They're really pressuring this farm over here. Felix does have the dive to get a little bit further away. Now he's being shackled. They do not have the Sinister Gaze. Jin Q still just waiting for his opportunity, but Felix holds his nerve, doesn't even throw out the dive. They are really pressuring where they know Alk wants to farm, right? He wants to be doing loops all the way around this mid lane and constantly finding farm that way. Red Panda this time around, he does not have the TP scroll, but nothing to say. Only the 1 point in the degen aura. So actually not really able to chase this one down, as instead they're just going to be going for the Pango over at top. He does have some stick charges and a swashbuckle. Innocence might still be able to chase this kill down, however, power shot not going to connect. Nice fancy footwork as Death Prophet now coming in, looking for a little bit of a cleanup and should be able to get both of the supports with the Exorcism. So I don't know if that ended up really being worth it for EHOME.
Yeah, nice first use of the Exorcism coming through there by the DP.
Is it good enough to get 2 kills and no tower pressure? Is that just the kind of game we're in?
It's not ideal, but anything that's going to create some sort of pressure away from the Alchemist is going to be a good thing.
Ooh, the supports have respawned and they're running straight towards mid. Great shackle. Drag back in the Phoenix. Bring him down. They can't get the Alk. He's fine. But so much pressure from these EHOME supports.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a look at the net worth, though, it's a big difference between this DP and the Wraith King, and that's what you want as your position 1s.
Salah doesn't even have... Well, does he have... He's got treads coming out now. Build-wise, expectations, is it like Armlet Deso kind of a thing?
Well, interesting build here from the DP going into a mechanism, so will it be a Guardian
onto the
Greaves?
Phoenix. Felix does have the dive away. And yeah, mech coming out for Death Prophet. Interesting. And there are such deep wards on for EHOME. They actually have so much vision on the Radiant side of the map. I think they also had one up on the high ground earlier, but looks like that was successfully sentryed out. Oh, as I miss a kill. Faith Beyond just solo killing OP at bottom with his raw Necrobook. Doesn't even have boots, but looks like just walk up, roar. Very straightforward kill there.
It's understandable though, because you want to be pushing in waves as deep as they can. You know, you can see Alchemist. He's had about a minute where he's been able to do what he wants, and he's starting to move up those net worth charts.
The other thing that I'm realizing now, and after watching the Omni Knight TP like that, is that there's really not a whole lot of stuns on the Radiant to cancel anything.
So
coming in.
They're trying to get aggressive.
Yeah, Innocence is dead. Mega kill streak already for this Death Prophet, able to just keep gliding around everywhere, finding these kills, putting on the pressure. Also wants this bounty rune. Don't know if Jinkyu can really contest it. He's only level 4 on the Wind Ranger, and that's a level 9 DP running at him. Thinking about it, he will actually snipe it out just from underneath the Death Prophet's nose.
Still, 2 for 2. Sparking Arrow are fine with that. He's getting much closer to the Radiance now. Just continuing to farm. Another thing that I didn't touch on that I just saw in that previous mid.
I think you'll get time to finish.
Yeah. The Wraith King Skeletons. Great source of money for this Alchemist.
For sure. Definitely something to look out for during this game. And now DD's coming over. We'll be farming up against the Wraith King. And big dive still continuing at mid. Nothing to say, losing a lot of life. This Phoenix Sun cutting off the escape route. They won't be able to deal with it, it looks like. I think Jinkyu could have maybe manned up for it, but instead, Felix looks like he's going to be okay. Sylar coming over, but they do have the rest of the Radiant team over here.
Sylar eventually comes in, but DD's fine with that. He's like, okay, well, you were previously contesting me on the top side. Now I've got this couple of waves for me. I get to stack the camp. He's having a great...
This Death Prophet is making so much space. It's kind of making up for the fact that Alk is getting a ton of room, but then also they need the Pangolier to catch up, so a lot of pressure on Death Prophet to kind of hold the line. But he's doing really, really well so far.
Yeah. It's just the matter of sustain. I really like this draft a lot more from Sparking Arrow. You know, you can see with the item choices that they've going into the mechanism, they're going to be able to outlast in team fights. Alchemist obviously has passive regen inbuilt. You've got the Sunray as well as the headdress on the Phoenix. And then you've also got the AA to counter out any sort of regen that EHOME has. So it's going to be tough to take any sort of team fight that isn't pick-off central.
It's looking really good for Sparking Arrow so far. Almost 5k net worth, heading towards 4k experience, dragging the win probability back onto their side, and Alchemist just farming up a storm. Radiant's going to be a big deal. Faith Beyond is having a good game, working his way towards his Necrobook level 2. Omni Knight just kind of going for a right-click build. We'll be picking up an S&Y, so maybe trying to pick up a little bit of the slack from the Wraith King. And they do certainly have like good Roshan potential as well, but the momentum probably not where they were hoping for. Roar at bottom. DD taking a lot of damage, but he does have the Radiance and he does have his ultimate running. Not enough for EHOME to find the kill on him.
Yeah, I think if he didn't get off that that ultimate, he might have been in a lot of trouble. They would have maybe committed for it. But good rotations coming through from the rest of his team and popping it off just in time.
EHOME quickly swapping sides. Pango trying for the Rolling Thunder, keeps on getting interrupted, but finally will find the opportunity. Gonna look for the lockdown on Innocence over on the side here, but no real damage in the area. Ice Blast was already thrown bottom, so we'll just be forced to retreat. Exorcism getting popped mid, more pressure. Sparking Arrow just poking and prodding, forcing EHOME to respond to them, making more room for this Alk, who is getting run at by Nothing to Say, but gonna need a little bit more than just the Omni Knight to deal with this Alchemist at this point. And he's got another Chemical Rage in a few seconds. Should be able to hold onto this tower pretty much all by himself. And he's doing good damage to this Omni, in fact.
Mid lane, they're getting aggressive again. Supernova use.
Supernova.
Maybe committing a little bit too much, but I suppose when you've just used the Exorcism as well, you know that you're not going to take a fight for another 100 or so seconds. So this is the little window that EHOME has to try and make something happen.
Ice Blast is coming bottom. Soul Ring's being used, stun coming through. DD would love this kill and Nothing to Say. I don't see any way out of this for him. Death Prophet quickly brings him down with a nuke, and that is a wicked 6 streak for this DP.
Yeah. Probably the last thing that they wanted on EHOME. Not only does Omni Knight go down, feeding more gold through, but he used the Guardian Angel as well. So that's one key team fight ability that they might have wanted to use to contest the fact that there was no Exorcism, that there was no Supernova.
And it's kind of looking like EHOME might be resigning themselves to this game just going long. Like, Sylar has just queued up the Radiance. It's going to be slow, but I think he's aiming for a 4 or 5 slot more than being able to keep this really aggressive push going. It's a bit worrying. I do think Beastmaster falls off really hard towards the later stages, but maybe that's what they're going to have to do. They have to hope that they can ride out the Alchemist's peak and then take a fight in the later stages, but not going to be easy, I don't think.
Yeah, and you can see they're picking up the aggression now with the Blink Dagger coming out. For the Alchemist, he's also got a Reaver, so much tankier now. I'm interested to see how this Lich chooses to rotate around. Just getting a couple of these bounty runes, but maybe they want to be putting themselves in the front lines. Or deep.
They've got a Roar ready, but there is an Alchemist stun coming through. Silence onto the Beastmaster. Can he even get anything off? Ice Blast not going to connect. They are just focusing onto the Omni Knight on the other side. It's a defensive Roar to try and escape, but Faith Beyond already brought down, and Nothing to Say split up from his team over on the other side, trying to find his escape, but getting chased down by the 2 supports and the Pangolier. Felix Xiaoba is going to finish off that kill, and that is just a quick 2-0 in favor of Sparking Arrow. And now they can even start truly getting the Alchemist involved. The man is getting a crazy amount of farm as he cleans up the Wraith King skeletons at mid. He's already got a heart.
Yeah, I mean, they had the TP on the Omni Knight. I'm a bit surprised he didn't use it when the Rolling Thunder was finished up. Because what, you got a Phoenix, a Pangolier.
Yeah, I guess he just thought there was too much damage.
Well,
EHOME looking a little bit lost, to be honest. Jinky is just kind of loosely pressuring bottom. Death Prophet's going to come down here and deal with that, and Feels like Alk can just go and do whatever he wants. Right, this is the
can't
Beastmaster
fake
with his entire army. But what can he really do? I thought Alk did Alk
Maybe
have a blink?
He
and then-
bought it and then instantly sold it.
Yeah,
for the
I thought I saw the pop-up that he bought it, but
Yeah.
just decided to do a little bit of,
Dire's top tower has
you
fallen.
know,
think
give
I'd say
Faith
he's
Beyond a
key.
taste of his own medicine here. Just go for the second item, Heart.
It just feels like Innocence is a little bit like wandering around aimlessly, you know? There's not too much you can do when you've got this beefy alchemist just doing whatever he wants, running at you. They've spotted out all of these skeletons on the alchemist, which is always very handy to have.
Radiant's bottom
Continues to
tower
increase
is
the
under
farm and
attack.
probably finding the best camp that you can with all those little spawns. He's having a fantastic time, nearly going for the AC, it seems.
I mean, who can the supports even connect with at this point? We've seen the Beastmaster ganks are no longer really doing anything, and EHOME really just running into a kind of a damage wall at this point with their 3 cores hovering around 7k net worth. They just
Radiant are scanning.
can't put out enough harm. They are going to try and go on this Death Prophet, but she's pretty tanky. Has the Greaves. Can they keep her alive? Nope, won't be able to. They do manage to focus her down. A couple of nice crits from the Wraith King. Now they're chasing, looking for a little bit more. Pangolier might look for the turnaround, and they will now as the Alchemist emerges from the trees. They're going to throw down the Supernova. Can they stop this in time? No! The roll through, they will just barely manage to bring him down. Faith Beyond getting chased, however, and they still have not addressed the big bad Alchemist. They throw the Chain Frost in his face, but it doesn't bounce at all. They are managing to kite him at least somewhat, but OP gonna come back in for a little bit more lockdown, and that will end up being a 2-for-2 trade, even with a good initiation. EHOME buying back, maybe sensing an opportunity now that Alchemist doesn't have his ultimate running, but can they actually do anything here? He's still got 3.5k HP, and he's still just gonna man up onto Sylar. They will manage to bring down at least the Ancient Apparition. He buys back immediately. Innocence just getting run down as OP low on spells, but
Lucky.
DD is still just running and punching, and he's gonna have everything back up soon. Jinkyu's getting burned down. Stun coming out in a second. There's the Acid Spray. Ice Blast also flying in. Sylar okay for now. OP whiffs on the Swashbuckle. Not the best spell casting in the world out of Sparking Arrow, but it looks like DD on the Alchemist might still be able to run this one down. They've got the slows. He's chasing up onto the high ground. He will get stunned. And another little shackle getting thrown at him, but Sparking Arrow are all here. They've got the heals, and they've got the Exorcism off cooldown.
Yeah, Creep Wave did get wiped out though by that glyph, so it's probably going to delay them after they're able to take this one down. And wow, you just see these elongated team fights, and for the style that Sparking Arrow have gone, they're more than happy to take that. You know, not the longest cooldown on the Chemical Rage. You've got the AA who got a nice couple of Ice Blasts out there. Supernova, sure, he was used and went down relatively easily from it, but it just creates that distraction that allows the passive team fight damage to come through from the Exorcism, from the Chemical Rage, from the Radiance. It seems like they've got everything going for them. And now they've got the Bounty Runes in 10 seconds, so they're going to continue keeping up this pressure.
And you've got to remember as well that that was a pretty good start to the fight for EHOME, right? They killed the Death Prophet without her being able to do anything, and still Sparking Arrow come in and get a pretty good cleanup. Windranger trying to make her way out of this one, but OP gonna keep him locked down, and that will be Sparking Arrow coming in to claim a few more kills, get some more gold going on this Alchemist. I believe he's got pretty much his full AC. I don't know where the Courier's going currently, but
I think he's just trying to prevent it from getting sniped.
fair enough.
Run back to your Courier, come on. You've got haste.
It'll get there eventually.
Dire's bottom tower
That's fine.
is under attack.
He wants this tower last hit. Didn't get it. That belongs
Dire's
to
bottom
Felix.
tower has fallen.
Yeah, I don't know what they do about this Alchemist at this point, Danog. It's
Dire's bottom
Yeah.
tower.
Especially as he's about to hit that level 18 as well, so more damage, more regen. He's a healthy boy. I mean, they don't even have a natural
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Spirit Vessel builder either.
No.
And as soon as they start to see that build-up, he's just going to change up into a Manta style, you'd think.
yeah, or could even just get a BKB. Nothing to say, comes TPing in, but here comes the Exorcism pop. They will use the glyph over on the other side. Sylar and Faith Beyond trying to put on some pressure on this top lane. That's a big creep wave, actually. They are going to push pretty quickly, but Sparking Arrow shouldn't be too much of a problem to go back and defend. They can just put the Alchemist there as a wall. Don't think they want to fight after the Exorcism runs out, but for now, still willing to keep on going. The tier 2's already fallen. Over on the top side, Sparking Arrow got to be careful. EHOME will be looking for this TP cancels as they're already up onto the high ground. The tier 4 is absolutely, well, tier 3, sorry, absolutely melting, but EHOME will be forced to back out, and OP will be the one to come and clean up this push, as Alchemist will instead TP his way over towards mid. So they do end up losing the tier 3, but they get the lane of Rax in exchange. Probably about as good as EHOME could have hoped for, given the situation.
Yeah, man, the speed that those skeletons attack with the Inner Beast Aura is absolutely nuts. They could just see them wailing on this tower, and as you said, you gotta be thankful for small miracles right now. Still, in the end, was a full lane of Rax lost, but it's kind of like cutting off your foot to save.
Well, Ice Frog giveth and Ice Frog taketh away. Double damage right outside of Roshan. And Sparking Arrow gonna head in there quickly with that. Not even pop in the Chemical Rage on the Alchemist. Just gonna work this down, and then I would imagine go and push top lane shortly afterwards. They are gonna have some boars coming in to scout. EHOME have decent vision, but there's no real way to get in here and stop this at all.
Yeah, and he's got his level 3 Chemical Rage now as well. I think they know where Sylar is, but are they going to continue chasing this down?
Oh, they spotted him. But do they have any more interrupts? I don't think that anything's going to get in range in time. OP's trying, but not quite.
Maybe a little bit happy trigger finger with the Yule Scepter there.
That's
Maybe
true.
the
He could have
Spirit
maybe
Siphon was
just
the way
run
to go.
after him for a little while. Does he have the... He does have the move speed edge on the Wraith King, so could have just kept chasing him.
Alright, 16k net worth lead, 84% win probability. You'd be feeling pretty good if you're Sparking Arrow right now, but as with anything, you can easily screw it up as well.
And Faith Beyond's picked up this BKB, but I just don't really know what he's going to be able to do. EHOME sneak outside of the base and find themselves a decent position up on the high ground, but I don't think Sparking Arrow needs to come over here at all. They're just going to be sieging up on the high ground. What kind of vision do they have? They see the whole fight. Can they get a good jump? Wraith King getting stunned on the front lines. It's a two-man silence. The Beastmaster can't get anything out. He will get the roar onto the Ancient Apparition. I don't know why he's the target. The Phoenix does make it a little bit further away, distracts them with the egg. He buys back pretty much immediately, and the big problems have still not been addressed. It's all 3 cores from Sparking Arrow. Innocence is going to get chased down on the side by OP. Finishes him off with the shield crash. DD looking for a stun. Looks like he is going to end up with the self-stun here, but Death Prophet and Alk both still on completely full HP, and with the Exorcism just going to wander up onto the high ground and look to bring down this tier 3 tower.
Yeah, Exorcism's worn off, but you've still got a very beefy Alchemist just happy to take down that mid-lane tower. 15 seconds until his Chemical Rage's back up.
Trying to fight, but here comes the Rolling Thunder. Lots of control. Omni Knight going to be brought down. Sylar, first life about to fall, perhaps. Looks like he might be just tanky enough with the Heavenly Grace to survive, but Sparking Arrow just going to play the objective, go back. Beastmaster is trying to push top in the meantime. Faith Beyond not interested in this fight inside of the base, realizing that they just can't get any kills given the situation. And Wraith King running forward, but he's got just a Radiance compared to the Alks. 4 items at this point. It's a nice shackle, but Sylar is just getting burned to death. Reincarnation is going to get popped, and DD is waiting for him on the other side with a stun. He gets saved for a few more seconds, but even the Glimmer Cave, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Nice shackle, but lingering nuke coming in for the Death Prophet. And Sparking Arrow are going to be taking out this game, taking out this series, and walking away with their first win here in the CDA. It's a nice shackle. Pangolier is going to take some damage. Looks like OP is going to be brought down. But Alchemist is still just sitting there doing whatever he wants. He wants the Mega Creeps. Looks like they might be able to pop this Aegis. It is going to be reclaimed in a little while. And he will be coming back. Has to wait a bit for the Chemical Rage. Do they have any more stuns? Red Fire Blast is available, but a good silence from the Death Prophet going to prevent it.
Precious bounty.
Ancient Apparition finally gets up into the fight in the base, and the GG has been called. One last Supernova for good measure.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I mean, that's what you like to see, you know, Sparking Arrow Gaming taking out in a 2-1 against, I don't want to say a juggernaut like EHOME, but an established force. And, you know, these opportunities for the lesser known organizations to start to stamp their foot in place. It's always great, you want to see the underdog.
Yeah, I certainly think they're going to be making more of a name for themselves over the course of this event. It will be interesting to see how everything shakes out, because we do have some really high caliber teams in this event. But I could definitely see Sparking Arrow after that performance taking some games and taking some series off of off the newbies and maybe even like the Keens and RNGs and stuff of the world. Definitely looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table, and some slightly interesting drafting this series as well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing more of that.
It just seemed like whichever team wanted to end the game faster won the game every single time.
Yeah, the Death Prophet and the pushing strategies, and not even necessarily winning the lanes every single time, because it felt like in that first game it was really Sparking Arrow. They were kind of on the back foot a little bit in the early stages, and then all of a sudden, come the mid game, they just put their timing together and just went for it. So that wraps it up. That's it for us. And that's going to be it for us for a little while for CDA. I believe BCOP and Winter are going to be taking care of everybody for the next little bit. There's
Couple
also
weeks, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the next couple of weeks. And then there is also some other Dota, of course, going on. I think we've got the other Chinese event, which is still happening. Is that the China Pro League? Yeah, China Pro League Season 1 playoffs are happening. And of course, ESL LA online is also getting kicked off. So tons and tons of Dota for everybody to watch. And make sure you go and check out all of that.
I think that Pro League one's going on right now. Vici versus LGD Grand Finals.
Oh, awesome. I've got friends ticked. What do we got? Yeah, Vici versus PSG LGD. Awesome. So we'll send everybody that way. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed all of the coverage, and we'll hopefully catch you for a broadcast sometime soon.